All right, so getting these tightened up, one thing I'm really worried about with these forks, and there's a multitude of things, right? I mean, these are under $200 downhill forks with 135 millimeters of travel.
And a 9mm quick release.
Yeah, what can go wrong? Something that I want to make sure of is that these are nice and tight, because I'm like legitimately worried about one of these stanchions shooting through or getting sucked all the way down and this just not being tight enough. But I mean, that's as tight as I can go. The clamps are already bottoming out on each other. So I'm worried about when we get back and we take a look at this bike that one of these is going to be way up here rubbing on the bar.
We'll measure it, see if it's still at 35.
Yeah, we'll measure it. That's a legit worry of mine. This is going to be interesting, guys.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and get suited up, and then let's hit this Hayes Creek run. Wolftick Nation, thank you guys for tuning into once again another Wolftick Videos episode. Now on today's episode, guys, this is going to be a good one. We have got the all-new,
the rest of them are not,
Himalo DH 680 down. That's DH stands for downhill, baby. And that's exactly what we did with this.
What about down home? Everyone's down home.
Down home. We took this thing to the Black Diamond Hayes Creek run at Mount Nebo State Park, and we had a damn good time. The video is going to be very interesting, so make sure you guys don't skip any of it.
It was a little nerve-wracking because it didn't have the radio.
Gosh, it was nerve-wracking.
Oh, I hate when he goes and does these damn rides with no one.
But you guys will see all about it. And on this episode, after we do the real-time review of this fork, because this is the first time I've ever ridden on the thing, on the GT Aggressor Pro. After we get done doing the real-time review, we will see you guys back here because we've got a whole plethora of forks.
Or plethora.
Our very scientific scoring system.
Extremely scientific.
We're going to rate these puppies. We're going to see where they rank.
There's no room for errors in it. It's so scientific.
So scientific. But the run was very interesting. We're going to let you guys see all of that. And man, what a fork, what a purchase. $194, under $200. This is our under $200 board. And it was something, you know.
It was something.
Yeah, I mean, are they still in the GT? Are they broke? You know, is the GT just sitting out in the yard somewhere? You guys are fixing, yeah, yard art. You guys are fixing to find out. So let's go ahead and take you guys out to Mount Nebo, and then we will see you guys back here when we go to rate these things.
Yeah.
Let's do it. All right, guys, out here at Mount Nebo State Park, about to run the Himalo 680 downhill fork down Hayes Creek run. Now, we just got here. Unload the bike. It's been a minute since we actually looked at this thing, since the install video, and it was already leaking oil out of the cap up here, so I'm kind of worried about that. Now, we didn't bring a crescent wrench or anything to tighten it, of course, but we're not going to let that hang us. Yeah, we're not going to let that hold us back. We're still going to run this fork. Just don't try this at home, okay?
I don't know if they want to try this fork at home on a downhill anyway, even if it wasn't
or even on the road, you know, for that matter. I don't know, you know, something that's been bothering me since the install video, I didn't really realize it, is on the crowns. Once I loosened both sides of the crown, which was a mistake in the beginning, man. And before you knew it, I was like, I don't know, it was crazy. This one was over here.
Milking the cow?
Yeah, I was milking the cow. So now the problem is I'm about, I'd say about a little over 1/4 of an inch uneven. So I'm going to have to even them out, and then once we get done doing that little bit of work and getting them to where they're even, we're fixing to hit the trail. So stay tuned. Let's get this fixed up real quick. So is that about right? Okay, so we're good. So I'm going to tighten this side down.
Tighten it up.
Let's check the air and adjust it. Last time I was talking about like kilograms or something.
Okay, let's figure you at 170.
Me at 170.
You had Thanksgiving.
Okay, so me at 170 is 80 to 95. 80 to 95 pounds.
Jeez. You know, people are saying, you know, you could push them stanchions down and get so much more, you know, rake and all that. It's like, well, we're not trying to do that. We're not trying to kill the GT frame.
Yeah, don't want to have this split apart. I mean, this is going to be sketchy enough as it is.
The fork and the frame. Neither one of them will be trying to mess up, especially the frame.
This is going to be interesting, guys.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Let's go ahead and get suited up, and then let's hit this Hayes Creek run. A couple. That might be a good couple clicks. All right, guys, let's do this. Maybe a little faster. How about that? Has anybody ever seen that method?
Rebound Hack. Tell your friends.
What the hell? I thought this thing had a compression ring. That's crazy as hell. The compression ring is gone. We're gonna come up over here on this side and attack it. And then there's Hayes Creek down there. And I got my KEMIMOTO special gloves on today because I have a feeling I'm gonna crash. And yes, I've got my knee pads and elbow pads on. Dude, that is so weird with the compression ring. You guys saw it, it had one. All right, Himalo 680 downhill forks, 135 millimeters of travel. You think it'd be a lot more with a downhill fork, right? But it's not. So let's see what they've got to offer, shall we? 9mm quick release. I'm kind of sketched but excited about that as well. Black Diamond, Hayes Creek Run, Mount Nebo. Let's do this real-time review. Well, that was hell of a start, huh? I swear I'm a better rider than this. It started rubbing to the point where it stopped my tire, and then my tire wanted to completely slide on those leaves. Would you look at this? When I go down, that's where it's rubbing, is right here. That's crazy, that's already rubbing that. I guess we can adjust it to where they're higher up. We'll have to loosen these bolts back up here on the crown, right? And then what we can do is basically run the stanchions down. So I think we'll be okay. So I'm gonna put this helmet back on. We're gonna run through this real quick and hopefully the tire won't rub on there anymore and then we'll be set. I imagine that there's more than enough clearance from there all the way to that tire. I hope so. We're gonna find out. I'm really sketched out on having to raise those up, and I'm hoping that one of these things doesn't blast through, man. And it's not like you can go crazy tight because they're all like, I don't want to strip these. There's only 4 bolts, and golly, am I hoping that we don't get any rubbage on the tire again, man. That makes me nervous. Here we go, Himalo 680 DH downhill forks. Oh, I'm nervous. Wish me luck, people. Let's do this real-time review. This trail is full of leaves, so I'm hoping that. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I'm hoping that these Goodyear tires don't slip out from under us. Some of my favorite tires, and we are running tubeless now. Okay, once we get past this stuff, we've got a pretty good rock garden down the way, and everybody knows this trail. We've got some good switchbacks too. Okay, now, under $200 fork, where is she gonna rank? Supposed to have 135 millimeters of travel, but it was about 120 something when we measured it with the caliper. 9mm quick release. A lot of people were sketching out that a downhill fork has that, but I don't know, man. Okay, here we go. First turn. Okay. Smooth. All right, got some good flow going through here. Ooh, a little sketchy back there with the leaves. First turn felt good on the inside. Good push on the out, but not to the point of where it was feeling pogo-y. Okay, the front of the bike right now with that added slack that we added to it is a feeling I am definitely not used to. It feels very sketchy, and again, there's only 4 bolts that are holding that thing tight right now, and you can feel it. Okay, big rock garden, or lack thereof. Okay, handled the rock garden good. Okay, good jumpers. Woo! Man, I love to shred through this part right here, but just all the leaves right now. Okay, nice in the turns, good. Now the small like feedback right now. Woo! Woo! The small, the small feedback with the fork, you can feel it. But what scares me is about halfway through that travel, it starts to kind of rumble up here. You know, where you got a rumble in your tummy and your stomach kind of starts to gurgle? That's what I'm feeling with this fork. Ugh, whenever it's more than a, like 50% of the travel used up. You get to the 60-70 portion, you start feeling gurgles. Okay, so here's the oil line, I think, is right up here, if you can see it. We'll get the caliper tool out there here in a little bit when we get down to the truck, and we're going to measure that out. Man, very chattery up here in this portion. I'm not liking. You can see right here that seal is like carving into the oil or the grease, whatever that is. If that makes any sense, you can see those lines there. That's kind of bothering me. Okay. All right, let's keep on hitting it, guys. Little rock garden here. Big berm. Good takeoff on the outside now. Here's my crash area. Let's see how we soak these up. Oh, whew, almost got away from me, but I think that slack really helped in absorbing some of that stuff up front. Now we've got some more flow on the end part of this trail. So far, the fork is doing okay. We're gonna rate this thing, remember guys, like we always do, our very scientific rating. We're gonna be rating it. I'm just curious where it's gonna rank. All right, we got a good little feature here. Okay, not bad. Get some good flow here. Another big berm. All right. Now, one thing I do like about this fork is the ability to be able to set that rebound with your foot or your hand, whichever you prefer. Set that rebound and actually the adjustment factor. And you know, our scoring system, that's one of the some of the criteria. Woo! Some of the criteria for the rating for scoring is the adjustments. And so far, these things are very active with little adjustments, especially with that rebound and the air pressure. So that's impressive. Now let's try this lockout. It's a lot of clicks for only being able to open and close the thing. There's no damping or whatever in between settings. Lockout works fine. I mean, it's completely locked out with all my weight on it. So let's talk about some of the overall feel of this fork, like the smalls. We're gonna get some flow here. It feels like it's reacting to a lot of the small stuff, which I'm surprised with. I've said this before. I've said this before. It's like usually when you get a budget fork, there's very few forks out there that are in this price range that actually you can fill the smalls and you can fill the bigs, right? This one here is surprising because I think it's doing really good in the smalls department. I can feel everything and there's a good amount of feedback. It's not like just completely numb to everything. And in the bigs, so far, they're doing good on the takeoff. It's pretty even playing field throughout. But when you go to land, it kind of falls flat in its face a little bit. It's like the travel's there, but once you get past that 50 percentile, it kind of just stops. I don't know. Tell me, what are you guys thinking about this? Where's it going to rank, guys? Wolftick Nation, you guys know the scores. Look back at one of those other videos, see some of the scores, but what do you think this thing's going to get? This is like one of the fun parts of the trail, but it sucks as you can see the parking lot down there in the winter time. This is some of the good flow here where we can really get to speeding things up. Okay, again with the ins and outs of the turns, very impressed. And these damn Goodyear Escape tires, guys, look for these things in the affiliate links below, please. Do yourselves a favor and get some.
All right, guys. Well, did you enjoy it? Where do you think this thing is going to rate? What did you think of the run?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think it worked out great for testing the adjustments. It worked out great for testing the smalls. I just don't think it tested the bigs enough, and I'm a little worried about that. But at the same time, I'm a little worried about that fork.
I'm a little worried about that's a scary fork, man.
I don't want people to buy this and not know how safe it is or not.
I don't think it's safe at all.
The bigs are the ones, that's my point is, I don't want to go out there and say this fork is dangerous and this fork shouldn't be bought. I don't think we did as thorough of a job as I would like to have done, but right now with the days being dark at 4:30 and the scheduling, I know we're not going to be able to get to doing that until another couple weeks, and right now people want to know about this fork before it's gone.
So let's get to it.
So that's why we went ahead.
I really enjoyed the fork. There was some negatives about it, and I think the biggest negative about it is the two crowns up there and the whole headset area. It just feels shaky. Like a lot of the times when you really start hunkering down on that thing and you start jumping with it, it gets a little shaky, you know? And I don't like that.
Well,
now,
most of the name brand, if you will, downhill forks have the little, you know, mount deal for the
different for your stem
and all that stuff. So
the fork definitely is it's a $200 fork. You know, I mean,
that's just it. It is. It's an under $200 fork. So now the Himalo DH 680 135mm 27.5 $194 fork. So the scores are as follows.
Let's do it.
Looks, you gave it a 4.2 out of 5.
4.2 out of 5. It really seems to me like they've spent some time on the decals, and I like that, you know? I thought they looked pretty good.
It's a decent looking fork.
Yeah. And plus, you got the double shoulder up there. You've got, I mean, it looks cool as hell, so that's why I gave it that.
3.0 out of 5 on feel.
The lowers and all that feels good. The rebound feels good. The compression knob, it feels decently quality from some of the other budget forks that we're used to. Now, when you get up there into the whole crown area, that doesn't feel great, you know, and it's just as far as safety is concerned, it doesn't, you know, it's not, I don't think it's that safe. I was so worried on that trail, those damn things shooting through the top and hitting the bottom of the bar.
You were worried.
Yeah.
So the smalls, you gave this a 4.5 out of 5.
4.5 on the smalls, man. Bless you.
I sneeze at that.
I would say this fork, that was where it was impressive because the feedback of the fork on the small stuff felt really good. Like you could feel everything. It wasn't jarring, you know. I liked it.
Adjustment. Okay, so the adjustment factor is the amount of difference the adjustments make on the fork. You gave it a perfect 5 out of 5.
A 5 out of 5. There's a lot of dialing in and stuff like that I think would be boring to a lot of viewers, so we don't show all of the stuff when we're out there. And what drives us nuts is in the comments, people go, well, you should have done this, you should have done that, you should have set your sag. We go through so much, but guys, these videos are, you know, I mean...
They're already 20-minute long videos, but they would be an hour-long videos.
Yeah. So anyway, the dialing of the air, we finally settled at 95 pounds. The rebound, I didn't count the clicks because I used my new hack foot, my foot there. So I'm not sure on the rebound
I really
as far as the clicks go.
hack.
Yeah, with the hack. And then the compression, there's no damping in it. Yeah, it's hard to dial in a lot of forks, but that one surprisingly was, once we got it dialed in, it stayed the same throughout. So I was happy with it.
The big one that everyone looks forward to, the large soaks it up factor. You give it a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10, definitely not the highest. And I think the reason why it scored so little is I have multiple areas that I like to... 7.5 is
not little, but
there's
it's not
different
great.
areas that I like to score it on, you know what I mean? And all of that, it includes the takeoff, the preload, how much pump I can get, and then the landing's a really big one too, because that's just as important as the takeoff. And the landing, this fork it didn't do all that hot, you know? It just felt like it just fell flat in its face after about 50% of using up that 100 and whatever millimeters of travel that we finally...
Well, 128 so we finally came up with. They're a little on the heavy side, but they are what they are.
That's a lot.
That's a lot going on. 5.36 pounds, which isn't heavy, don't get me wrong, it's just heavy-ish. You know, it scored okay there. It
scored okay, yeah.
Now, the penalty. And the penalties aren't huge penalties unless it's a huge disparity. It's a 7mm disparity over advertised versus what we were able to measure overall.
And remember, we did measure it before, and when we depleted it on the initial
we've done
video.
everything we can to get the full measurement out of it, and we might go back and measure it again later on if we get. Because we're probably going to put this on the ledge X1. Okay, so now. You ready for the score?
Let's do the score. Where did this thing rate?
Where is it ranked? Where is it at?
So I think it's not as good as the ROCKSHOX. All scoring aside, I would put it right on top of the Bucklows.
The Himalo 680 downhill got a 28. 28.14.
Holy crap! 28.14.
I mean, I think it. You know what's funny is I would probably put it, if I'm ranking it, I would probably put it there or even a step lower. And the reason, I'd probably put it right above those Ultimates.
What's the reason?
The reason why is I just don't trust them. They're not bad. They're just sketchy.
Yeah, they're just sketchy. Like, I'm kind of happy that trail had so much leaves and stuff over the top of it because I couldn't go as fast and try to take turns and stuff like that because I'm still worried about that fork getting a little hectic, you know? And we'll see when we put it on the ledge. We're going to be putting it on the ledge X1, I think is the word on the street. So we're going to find out. We'll definitely try to suit that fork directly to that bike and just take our time and, you know, I'll might put some Loctite on stuff. I don't know.
That's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you watching Wolftick videos as always. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't, please give a like to this video. And also, if you want to get your hands on some of those Goodyear Escape tires, check in the affiliate links below.
That's the one you're all
what I
over.
run.
It's
I
your
love
number
them.
one favorite tire.
I love them. I love them. And then, if you guys want to get some unfiltered, raw, unedited material, extras,
Not
extra
for everybody.
stuff,
It's
extra,
not for
extra,
everybody.
whole bunch of not for everybody footage.
Not for everybody.
But our patrons love it.
If you enjoy our BS, you know, if you just come here for the bike stuff and you get tired of us, it's not for you. If you can handle a lot of language and
you want to see road trip stuff,
and you want to see a father and son that,
you want to see truck stops, and you want to see us just kicking it, check out our Patreon page. But guys, we will see you on the next one. Stay safe. See you later.
Yeah.